You are being watched, not by accident, not due to distraction. Someone wants to know everything about you. They scour your profiles, read comments, notice every detail of your posts. They ask around about your name, want to understand who you talk to, how you think, what you hide. This person feels but doesn't know how to express it. They feel jealousy and try to mask it with curiosity. They miss you and hide behind empty questions. They pretend not to care, but they track everything that involves you. You've noticed the way they watch you, the contained irritation when someone gets too close, the protective facade of concern, the silent presence that seems to scream. This person is trying to get closer, not with words, but with disconnected movements. It's insecurity, it's fear, it's unresolved feelings, but it's still feelings. Do you want to know if it's love? Then listen to the silence, observe the gestures, and decide what you are going to do about it. Have you ever felt that someone is trying to understand you more than they should? It's not just about knowing your name, where you live, or what you post. It's about wanting to access what you don't share with anyone. This person is trying to invade what you keep, even from yourself, and you feel it. You can't explain it, but you sense it. It's not a coincidence when they show up where you are. It's not indifference when they pretend not to care. There's an urgency that this person tries to hide, but it overflows. They want to know if you feel the same, but they don't ask. They want to know if there's still space in your life for them, but they keep quiet. And the silence turns into a muffled scream that surrounds you with every move they make. This person wants to understand why you have this effect, and maybe you don't even know how to answer. Because it's not just their presence, it's discomfort, it's not just affection, it's doubt. It's this mix of wanting and not knowing how to approach, of feeling and not having the courage to admit it. Have you noticed that every time you step back they show up? It's not by chance, it's fear. Fear of losing you, fear of taking too long to admit what she feels. And now she watches, investigates, interprets every signal. She wants you to say something, to provoke a response, but she will never ask you directly because she feels too much and fears too much. And deep down, you know there's something there. It's not imagination, it's insistence. It's pain disguised as curiosity. It's feeling trying to survive in silence. You feel that gaze. It chases you, even when you pretend not to notice. You sense the weight of that presence, even when she's not around. You notice the tension in the air when another name comes up in conversation. You catch the change in breath when the topic is you. This person is trying to understand what you are to her, and maybe she can't even explain, but she feels that she needs to find out, needs to confirm what she hasn't yet had the courage to admit. Is it jealousy? Yes. Is it a desire for control? Maybe. Is it fear of seeing you move on without her? For sure, but above all, it's feeling. Not that love filled with declarations. It's a confusing love that hasn't learned to show itself. It's love with scars, with a past, with mistakes, with delays. But it's still love. If it weren't, she wouldn't care so much. She wouldn't reach out so much. She wouldn't feel so much. She tries to understand what else she can do for you, what she can still recover, what she can still start even if it's too late. And you? Will you pretend you don't notice? Will you keep waiting for her to say what she can't express? Or will you face this silence for what it truly is? A request without words, a muffled cry asking you to stay. You need to understand this person doesn't just want to know about your life. She wants to be part of it. Even if she doesn't know how, even if she's doing everything wrong, she analyzes you, compares you, tries to figure out if she's already lost you. She remains silent when she wants to call you, holds back when she wants to tell you everything. And all the while she drowns in what she's convinced she's feeling, indifference. But you feel her presence when you read something that seems to have been written for you. You sense that there's something still alive in it, and even when you try to move on, that silent gaze pulls you back once more. Don't be fooled by the distance. Some people pull away to see if they'll miss you. Some people disappear to avoid exposing themselves. But they never stop watching. They never stop keeping tabs. They never lose the desire to be close. The person who investigates you isn't looking for simple answers. They want to understand where they lost you, if there's still time, if there's still space. And maybe they'll never say this with words, because there's pride, Because there's fear. Because there are wounds they've caused themselves and don't know how to heal. But they wouldn't be so invested in your steps if they had already forgotten you. They wouldn't pay so much attention to the details if they weren't still feeling you. No one spends time on what no longer matters. They see everything: who likes, who comments, who calls you. They pretend not to care but feel each reaction like a punch. And when you seem to be doing too well, it silently destroys them. This person carries a war within their heart. They want you close, but don't know if they deserve it. They want to get closer, but fear rejection. They want to try again, but think you're already too far away. And still, they persist. They persist in wanting to know. They persist in investigating. They persist in feeling you even from a distance. You've become the most uncomfortable doubt in their life, the what if that keeps screaming when everything else falls silent. And now you have two options: ignore everything that's happening or confront what's in front of you. Because this interest isn't empty. This jealousy isn't control. This search isn't just curiosity, it's unresolved love. It's a stuck feeling. It's the desire to return, but not knowing how. This person feels your absence even when you're close. Because what hurts isn't the physical distance, it's the distance that was born in the gaze. It's this emptiness in the way you respond. It's that barrier you built to avoid getting hurt again. But she feels it, and she tries to reach out to you in whatever way she can. Even if it means watching you in silence. Even if it means trying to understand what you're going through, without being a part of it. She blames herself. Maybe she doesn't say it. Maybe she doesn't even admit it to herself. But she blames herself for making you feel insecure, for taking too long, for not saying what she needed to at the right time. You've become an absence that can't be filled by anyone else, because no one can take the place of someone who genuinely made an impact. And you did make an impact. In the way she looked at you, in her presence, in her mannerisms, you made an impact without trying. You just existed, and that was enough to complicate everything. And now she tries to control what she feels, searching for updates on your life as if it would lessen the pain, as if keeping tabs on you would give her some sort of relief. But it doesn't. The more she sees, the more she feels. The more she discovers, the more lost she becomes. She tries to figure out if there's still a chance, if there's room for a fresh start. But she doesn't ask. She doesn't speak. She pretends to be all right. But you know, you can feel it. Because this kind of presence, even in silence, carries weight. This type of feeling doesn't go unnoticed, even if no one says a word. You've tried to move on, but that person is still there, even without asking, even without truly showing up. She's still there, as if she's waiting for you to take the first step, as if your movement would be the permission she needs to stop pretending. She doesn't want to intrude, but she no longer knows how to live without knowing about you. And that's why she digs through everything. That's why she asks questions. That's why she observes. That's why she feels jealous, because she still feels you. You've become an unresolved necessity for her, something she tries to understand, control, smother. But she can't. There are nights when she can't sleep. There are moments when she rehearses what she's going to say to you. But in the end, fear wins, pride wins, insecurity suffocates, and all that's left is this strange movement of watching you without confessing, of wanting you without drawing closer, from studying you like someone trying to remember the taste of something they don't want to forget. You are the most vivid memory she carries, and also the hardest doubt to bear. She hasn't moved on. Even if she says otherwise, even if she posts ambiguous quotes trying to show indifference, even if she smiles in pictures with people who mean nothing, it's all strategy. It's all an attempt to make you feel what she's feeling, the absence, the emptiness, the doubt. She doesn't look at your social media out of curiosity. She looks because she needs to know if you've forgotten, if you still feel, if you still think, if there's still any trace of you two there. And every time you post something new, she analyzes it, looks for clues, reads between the lines, tries to decipher you as if your life were a code she hasn't learned to read yet. And when she sees a different name in your comments, she feels it. She doesn't show it, but she feels it. Because she didn't want it to be too late. She didn't want to let you slip away. But she doesn't have the courage to admit she wasted too much time. She self-sabotages, tells herself she won't look anymore, that she will move on. But she comes back. Always comes back. Because you've become that fixed point she can't erase, and the more you seem fine, the more she gets lost. Because she imagined you suffering, imagined that you would wait longer, imagined you would still be there, accessible, ready, but you've changed. And this change frightens her, because it shows that maybe she has lost you, not because you wanted to, but because she took too long, and now all that's left is to watch, to control the longing with vague questions, to satisfy the anguish with information that fills nothing. You are the topic she avoids commenting on, but you live inside her all the time. She feels jealousy, but she has no right. She misses you, but she doesn't have the courage to say it. She feels everything she cannot confess even to herself. And you notice by her gestures, by the way she reacts when your name comes up, by the way she tries to seem indifferent. But she responds with her body, with her gaze, with forced absence. This person still wants you. But she no longer knows how to reach you, and that's why she watches. She tries to stay close even from a distance. She tries to know about you even without being with you. She tries to be present without intruding. It's twisted, it's confusing, but it's real. You've become the point she doesn't know if she can still touch, the space she feels but doesn't know if she belongs to anymore, the name she repeats in silence when night falls. She searches for answers where there is no more dialogue. She looks for signs where you leave no clues. And she tortures herself with the possibility that you may have already moved on from what she still feels. She is losing herself trying to understand you, trying to decipher if there's still a way back, if there's still an open door, if there's still enough love to start over. But she doesn't ask. She doesn't speak. She doesn't act. And that's why she remains in this silent cycle, watching you, desiring you, loving you, without the courage to admit it. She thinks that if she stays close, even without speaking, you will notice, that you will feel, that you will bring up a topic, that you will open a gap. Anything. Because she doesn't want to ask, but hopes you will offer. She nurtures hope in silence, creates imaginary dialogues where you still reach out, where you still care, where you still feel, and when you post something that seems melancholic, she almost responds, almost shows up, but she doesn't, holds back. She lives waiting for a signal, but doesn't realize that time waits for no one, that you are drifting away, that what she feels no longer reaches you. And maybe that's what hurts her the most, knowing that you continue, but no longer waiting. You live, and she watches. You move forward, and she stagnates. She wants to know everything about you, but no longer knows where to fit that into reality. She wants to be part of your life, but has pushed herself out of it. She feels what she feels, but doesn't have the space to act anymore. And all that's left for her is to watch you walk away, slowly, without drama, no shouting, only silence. The same silence she chose, and now everything she knows about you is useless. She knows everything about you, but she lost the right to be with you. She lost it because she chose silence. She lost it because she tried to control what she felt instead of embracing it, and now she sees. That time doesn't wait. That absence weighs heavy, and that you are no longer there, in the way she imagined. You've changed, you've closed off, you've built defenses, and she feels like she lost the only place where she was truly seen. She wants to know who you talk to, what you feel, what you think when you wake up. But she doesn't ask, and this silence has become an abyss that she dug herself. She wanted to know you without caring for you. She wanted to understand your soul without having the courage to give herself fully. And now all she has is information, but no presence. She knows the names of the people around you, but she no longer knows the sound of your voice. She knows what you post, but not what you keep silent about. She knows where you've been, but not where your mind is. You were a refuge, now you're a memory, and she feels this every minute of the day. She searches for old photos, remembers conversations, reads deleted messages with the eyes of her memory, and everything she finds is absence. Absence of what you both were. Absence of what she let die out of fear. She thought she would be in control, but what she feels now is desperation, because seeing you move on without her hurts more than admitting she loved you. And yes, she loved you, but she didn't know how to act. She loved you, but chose pride. She loved you, but stayed silent. She loved you, and that wasn't enough to face her own demons. Now you've become a story she can no longer live. Only remember, only observe, only feel. And the cruelest part is this. She knows you too well to forget. And she knows she lost you forever. You know there's still something there. It's not just any longing. It's not meaningless curiosity. It's a feeling trapped in a body that didn't have the courage to speak. She watches you because she still feels, because you still wish, because you still carry her where no one can see. But you are not the same anymore. You are no longer in the same place. She had time, she had a chance, she had space, but she chose silence. And now she lives off what's left. Your photos, your traces, your subtext. And you? Will you continue pretending this doesn't affect you? Will you ignore what you feel or what you felt? Or will you turn all of this into truth? Because in the end, this story only closes one way, with courage. If you felt that this text was for you, then it was. Now comment down below. She still feels, but it's already too late. Or if you still believe, if there are feelings, there's still a way. Like this video if this message touched you in a place where no one else does. And subscribe to the channel because here you won't find easy answers. You will find truths dry, real like this.